Good afternoon and welcome back to Carnation Crafts TV. If you missed out on the show this morning, this is your chance now to get the latest clean and simple collection. This is your Christmas note card making kit, and is this a one definitely to have? Yes it is, because with this one you're getting over 34 different dies in this collection. It's not just one aperture you'll be able to make, it's 3 different types with this one. Now we are approaching 70% with this, bearing in mind when we came to earlier today, obviously we told you it was approaching 50. We're now at 70. We are approaching. This is how busy we have been. I think with it being Christmas it's so different, and obviously the concept is the same with the apertures and everything else, but you are getting 3 different types of aperture die sets in here to make the most beautiful ones that you could possibly mean. Now obviously with this being a new size and a new different design, we have actually got for you as well some envelopes. If you want to get those while you're on the website, they are £9.99. You're getting 25. That will tip it over your postage, so then you will get postage free. Anything over £50 and your postage will be free. So honestly, if you're wanting to get those, pop those in 250618 for those. Now let's show you. Obviously you're clean and simple. If you've not seen it before, it comes in its own beautiful stylish packaging. With this one, obviously it always tells you on the outside, and you get a little bit of color coding on there as well, so you know what your kit has got inside. Now when you see these packets, you know it's something special, but super special, because this is like a selection box. You have got 3 different die sets in here. You've got your circles, you've got your squares, and you've got your rectangles as well. You've got your little bow maker in there too. You've got your different frames for your sentiments. You've got your mats and layers if you want to be able to use those as well. And you've got all your different embellishments. And in this one, you've got 3 floral embellishments. Plus you get the extra bits to be able to mat and layer with those as well and decoupage them up. So everything is in here. Love it because it's visual. So you know that perfect alignment will actually follow. And you've got that embossed detail on here to really get these kits to work and do what you want them to do. Then in the back, as always, when you get the kit ones like this, you will have your cardstock. You're going to get 10 sheets of this beautiful natural blush in there, which is a fabulous weight of 250 GSM, so good for die cutting, your card blanks and everything else. Then you get 2 sheets of the sangria cardstock, which is a slightly heavier weight. These ones are like 290 GSM. Then you have got your tan shade, which is a beautiful soft gold. Think of all your Christmas cards. That's going to be a lovely one to use. Then you have got your royal green in there, and you get 2 of those as well. So giving you a bumper start with your kit, but also bear in mind these have been hand chosen to go with the artwork, which you can download for free on Carnation Crafts website. If you go to the download section, you can download it there, and that will then obviously always work with your kit. You will actually get 20 stamps in total, but 10 of them obviously are the longer ones, and then you've got 10 exactly the same, but these are in a smaller size. So this will then fit into all the different apertures that you've got. So depending size wise, you have got them all. You're also going to get your 5 meters of your 5mm tape. You're also going to have your 10mm and your 5mm of your foam pads. So adhesive is in there. That pocket holds it all beautifully, but don't forget, if you're printing them out, that is going to sit all in there. So once this is in your little clutches, you don't really need anything else. Perhaps an ink pad and a die cutting machine, you are good to go. I know a lot of you like to collect these, but like I say, if you've got friends that are asking you now, you know, what do they need to get, I would highly recommend getting this one, because honestly the scope you've got with this set is amazing. Plus, if you're wanting extra card stocks, we have got those on the show as well for you. We've put all the details on the side for you, so all the individual ones, the item numbers are there. Just pop over to the website and pop those in your baskets. You're getting 20 sheets of the sangria if you want to get that one, and again it's a beautiful colourway that will work with some of the other flowers that we've brought to you. This is your golden tan, which is a beautiful soft gold. Again, 20 sheets of that if you want to purchase that one. And then we have got for you the royal green cardstock too. All $14.99 each, but if you know they're colours that you're going to use a lot of, I would recommend that you pop those in. And again, if you add that with the Clean and Simple bundle we've got for you today, that will go over your postage as well. So just to show you as well, this is exactly what you'll be able to make with that kit. You've got your sentiment, don't have to think about that. You've got your foliage in there. You've got your main artwork. You've also then got your mats and layers, which are the trickiest thing to be able to cut when you are actually first card making. But even sometimes now, you know, I can be a little bit wonky. My eyes might be a little bit off that day or a little bit tired. This stops it. There's no more blaming the trimmer. Everything is done for you with the kit because the precision has been measured and done for you by the fabulous team here. Like I say, your artwork is downloadable, so do remember to go and get that. You've got 3 different styles in that. You've got like your Christmas rose, you've got your berry bouquet there, and then you've got your pine cones, beautiful swag there as well, but luxury all the way. We say notelets, but do remember these can be more than notelets. These could be card toppers, box toppers. These could literally then be added to extra cards to make different sizes. Let's take a look at the stamps. So with the stamps, like I said to you, you will get 20 in total, but you will have 10 in one and then 10 in exactly the same sentiment, but just a smaller size to fit everything. You've got Merry Christmas, Season's Greetings, Merry and Bright, Warm Wishes, Tis the Season, Happy New Year, Feliz Navidad, thank you so much for the assistance there, Joy and Peace, Happy Holidays, and Joy Noel. But a beautiful font for you to have on those there. But do you know what? I think the samples absolutely are incredible. For me, because bear in mind, when I get sent my set, it's like a blind testing. I haven't seen what the design team do. So it's amazing to see what they have done, you know, when I see them on Facebook and things like that. But so many different designs, different way of using it, working them all together, you can have the same pleasure. And don't forget to check out the Facebook page on there for the Clean and Simple on Facebook, because there is such a fantastic community of crafters on there. You know, you can make and sell with these, but obviously if you do copy any of the design team ones, please do give them credit and a little thank you, because they go to such time and effort to put these together so quickly for us for the shows. Can you imagine? There's quite a big turnaround. This is going to be great. But these cards, if you haven't got a lot of time to make cards for Christmas, what a beautiful style. But just to show you those, I just want to show you this. We made this in the last hour. You can then make bigger cards with it. I don't want you to think it's just the notelet size that you will be making. You can make so many more designs. Now look at this. Different shapes, different pieces, showing you it will all work together. So you can then use this in years and years to come to literally give you, you know, the best designs you could possibly have. But you can see with the Clean and Simple, it is elegant, it's very beautiful, and it's going to be a staple for many years. But if you've got winter birthdays, things like that, you can easily use it for those occasions too, and depending on what colour cardstock you use, this is going to have an impact as well. So again, think about changing the different colours in there. Now let's make a little card, show you what you can do with these collections. Okay, so what I've done is, as you can see, I've cut out the layers for the card. Okay, so I've got all my layers there. I've got that beautiful embossed detail on that one with the aperture. But instead of having the last layer behind the cream, what I've done is I've taken that, I've scored it in half, and we're going to make a little rocker card. Because again, these can be place settings, it could just be a little card you want to make, but with some movement and some play. This is going to be a great one to have for that. So just taking the next layer, I'm just going to use a little bit of tape on this bit and just add that. Now, if you're not sure and you think you're worried about putting your tape on, obviously I've done this a lot of times, but if not, if you position where you want your card and just draw a pencil line, you know just to put tape on that bit so you don't get it all over it. But if you did get a piece on the back, just then get a little half cut it again and cover it up, because we all do have those moments, believe you me. So I'm just aligning that on there, but again, because these are perfectly obviously measured, you know that's going to give you that perfect measurement all the way around. So that's going to be the base for our rocker card, so that's working beautifully on that. So you can see you've got that there, and then we can build it together. Simple, easy as well, but so effective. And if you are making a lot of cards, that's what you want. But if you've got a stall or a fete that you're doing for Christmas, start making them now. You know, we always do Christmas in June. We like to start bringing it you nice and early, so you've got plenty of time to make your fabulous makes. Next up I've got for you is one of the beautiful roses, and again, just add a little bit of a bend to these, because it's supposed to look like it's growing, you know, out of that beautiful design there, but it just dresses it and gives it that bit more. You can tuck it in underneath if you want to. You can just add it in, which sometimes, like now, I like to do, because it just gives you that little bit more. So just tuck it in and then use your glue gel or your foam pads behind there just to make that sit in there beautifully. Then I've got one of the extra decoupage layers. Again, bend the leaves up, or what I like to do sometimes is snip into it. You could add your glues and glitters, but you know what, you don't have to with this one. And I'm not going to put it over exact over top. I will slightly tilt it to make my flowers look fuller. You've got your bow die, which I think for me is one of the most important ones in this kit as well, because I know I can use this so much. All you've got to do is rub it around your finger, just so you're starting to make like a little bit of a moustache. Pinch it down in the center and roll this round, and then what you're going to do is a little bit of wet glue on the back. Just let me put some more out, that's dried while I've been waiting. There we go. So I hope you're all nice and in the cool crafting. I must admit, I love being inside when it's nice and cool inside and you can craft and get everything done that you need to do. And especially if you're doing Christmas cards, it does give you that cool feeling, believe you me. So just add in that little bit more glue there. I'm going to pull this across and then hold this with my reversible tweezers. But if you've got paper clips and things like that, you can hold that. So that's just going to be drying while we add that on. Then I've got more number sentiments. As always, stamp the sentiment first, then die cut it. Hold it down with low tack tape. Don't try and guesstimate it. Do you know what I mean? Because you'll end up having to cut it a few times. I'm using the foam on the roll, available on the website. I would say stock up on that, because it's been perfectly sized as well to help, you know, when you've got the smaller, thinner bits on your cards, it's all been pre-sized, so it fits really well into there. Now, just adding this onto the base, and look at that, because at the end of the day, I want the card to be about the embellishment, not about, you know, everything, the big sentiments on there. So this is just subtle and gentle, but even with these, for tags and things like that, you can add this in and this is going to look delightful. So now I'm going to take the tails of the bow, and like I say, you could just put that straight on there and you could have the bow effect, but sometimes I like to just pinch this down like I showed you earlier, and that just makes them hang lower. Okay, so a little bit of glue on to there and a little bit on the back, because then I can attach this to this like so. It is a lot easier when you're at home, but for some reason today I'm being a bit clumsy. So let's add that then to the bottom of the card just there, because what you've got to think about as well with rocker cards, you can't have too much weight on one side. That's why I've added the sentiment there, and then I've got this little bit here. I'm not adding too much of the decoupage layers because too much weight and it won't rock. So hopefully that will just glue there. So then as I bring this round, move my glues so you can see what I'm doing, you will see then you've got, oh hang on, that's had too much rocker card, that one. There we go. So then you've got that rocker card that moves as well. These could be baubles for your Christmas tree. You could even do these as fancy placemats and things like that. You know, if you wanted somebody to stand the glass on it and things like that, you could decorate them. You could put acetate over the top and have them as little place. Obviously, you'd have to glue it more flatter, not as raised as what I have. But you could do it like that, and you could make beautiful coasters as well. So lots of different ideas and styles with this kit too. But if you wanted to mix in the rectangle with the circle, you could do that, or if you wanted to use the square and then you put the circle over the top, you can do that too. There is so much, you know, scope to play about with this and really get engaged with it. And as a crafter, that's what we need. This is your Christmas Notelet collection. Like I say, $49.99 for this one, but it is going to give you 3 different designs. It's the first time that I can think of that we've actually done so many different designs in one kit. So this is why, for me, I feel like it's a little bit like a selection box. I think whoever was designing it thought, do you know what? I don't want to do that one. I want to do this one. And then it was like, well, we'll just have to give them all. And I think that's what's happened this time. And I'm so glad, because it really does give you, as a crafter, that bit more. So let's have a little look. So this time, I'm going to use the rectangular one. Now, I did get a little bit, again, carried away with this. First of all, I was going to do, you know, like your stepper card. I thought about doing that. And then when it was laid on my desk that way, I thought, ooh, I want a stepper card, but I want an extra piece. So all I've done is folded it in half and just cut it I cut it the same size as the back panel first of all, but it was too big, so I've just cut it in a little bit, probably about ½ an inch off there, and then this is going to slot in between because I want my card to go this way, and we're going to attach it there. So again, just gives it a different feel. Now the inside, it needed a little bit of lining because, as you can see, I've used that tan cardstock this time, and I just felt like it just needed that little bit of a lift. So again, like I said to you, try and keep it to 2 colours, but then if you want to, add the colour in with your artwork. So just popping this in there, and that then makes the back look a little bit more polished. Can you see? So sometimes with your layers as well, look at it and think, what does it need? It's a little bit like a dress sometimes, and you just need that little bit of a bracelet or a little bit of a necklace or the right earrings to set it off. Think of that the same with your cards as well. Now, because I've got this piece, what I am going to do is just slide that in till it's in the right place, just there. So I've got the same at the top and the bottom. I know it's a little bit difficult for you. If I hold that a bit more, you'll be able to see. So you can see I've got that. Then I'm going to press that down. That will attach that piece, and then I just bring this piece down, and that's going to attach in there. So now I've got a fold out card. Okay, so that's going to work well there. Then I've taken one of the extra pieces. We're going to pop this on here, but can you see how it balances it out? Because otherwise your eye is just drawn to this piece. I need it to be drawn in. So what I'm going to do is add a piece of cardstock here, the same colour, and it gives it the same distance. So automatically you're now looking here rather than there if it wasn't there. Okay, so again, it's all about perspective, and it's little things like this that you learn along your card making journey. You do it one day at a time, you think, oh, why didn't I think of that before? So if you can pick up tips and hints off your friends or off Facebook and things like that, or videos that you watch on YouTube like this, all those bits, try and apply them to different projects. So you can see already we've got that little bit of a different design. Then we've got the mats and layers, but instead of using the rectangle that away, I wanted to use it this way. So we're going to mix and match this together. So first of all, using that beautiful blush colour, we're going to add this onto here and make this look fabulous. And this again, I'm just going to press it down flat so I can get the alignment where I want it. So you can see again, with having that piece, it's still drawing it in. If it hadn't, you'd still be looking over here. So that's why. And it is, if you're never sure, don't stick it down, just have a look at it first and play around with things. Same sometimes with jewels and embellishments. I leave them on the carrier. I don't always stick them down straight away, and then I work from there. Now add the next piece. So again, you can see it looks creative. It looks like you've got that beautiful like coving effect on the card. Now I'm going to take the frame. I've done cream on cream with this because I wanted to get the balance and the shadow with this one, but not overthinking it. So I'm just going to pop that over there like so. And then I've got the foam on a roll here. So this is going to give it height and dimension because I don't want too much foam on the roll because it would make that bit too bulky. So then as I go in, I can add this like so, and that sits like that. So already we've got that flow card going across. Now I've got this beautiful swag, but like I showed you, if you watch the first hour, if you want to, if you take 3 of these, you can then make a full wreath with it. So really, really handy, because it's been designed on the curve, not on a square. You can actually then make it into a full circle. And if you're not sure how to do, sometimes I would say draw around there, because you only need a rough guide, and then lay your pieces out, and that will give you an idea how to do it. So that's what sometimes I always have a little play at trying things like that first of all before I do anything else. So this piece is going to sit here again. Just pinch this a little bit to give it movement, because your pine cones would not be flat. They will have that little bit of, you know, texture to them, so why not add it in? And another little tip as well, you know, if you've got any cinnamon sticks or cinnamon, you know, oil or anything, just add a little tiny, you know, if you dip it in and then pop it on the back of there, it scents your cards as well. So you could try a little bit of that too. So again, it's all about experimenting sometimes. Or if you've, like me, I've got a fake tree, but I've got one of them tree sprays that smells like a real pine tree. You could spray a bit of that on it as well, and that makes it smell really nice too. So, you know, there's lots of things out there. You could add little bits of glaze to this. You could add, if you've got any, oh dear, my glue's dried. If you've got any little bells or things like that, you could add those to this. But you know what, the artwork, it does its own thing. You really don't have to think about too much adding too many extra bits. Now the decoupage bits, because I felt then the rest of it was a little bit plain, what I am going to do is then start working these and adding these on there. Now you can see already, just by positioning that there, it needs something in this bottom corner. So this is where I'm just going to put one of them on its own, and that's going to be tucked in under there. So you can see we've got that line and it's carrying it through. Still keeping it simple, keeping it clean, because I think sometimes with Christmas cards, we get all the sparkly bits out and we add that much to it, it can look like a sparkly pizza. So sometimes it is nice just to scale it back and just think, right, I only need certain pieces, and this will do that. Again, I'm using one of the bows. I did really like these in this collection. I think these are going to be so useful. With this, again, use your glues. You could use red liner tape if you wanted to, but it's actually even got the little mark, you know where to glue it to. So just adding that on to there. Oops, I'm getting it stuck everywhere. You'll have more time at home. I'm just doing this quite quickly because you know how I work. But just curve the bows on either side. Take your tweezers or a paper clip and just let that hold. How warm it is today though, my glue, like I say, is drying very quickly. So what I'm going to do is just add this onto there. Pop this in this corner. And you can see it really does look beautiful. Then adding the tails again, I'm twisting these down. This is my favourite way to use it, but you'll have your own, and there is different ways. Like I said to you before in the earlier hour, you can do double bows as well, or you can do the bows all the way round and just have a couple of tags so it looks more like a rosette. You can have that effect with it as well, but just popping this onto here. I'm going to mix and match this with this little bit of detail when I get that to stick on there, and then adding my bow onto the top. Like I say, if you add a few pearls with it, that would work too. But you know what, at the end of the day, the artwork you've got, and remember the artwork is all hand drawn. You've not got anything that's a looky-likey. This is how beautiful your projects could be just by having that little bit of difference on your cards, and you can see it stands different as well. You've got that movement with your card, but it's the artwork that makes it sing. And this is using your Christmas Notelets card making collection. It's a fabulous brand new concept that has been brought to you by Carnation Crafts, by the team here, of getting the perfect alignment with the perfect aperture, perfect matte and layers every single time. And when you get the clean and simple, we do the plus size ones, which is like just a die set, or you get the clean and simple card making kits. The kits have everything in it. So you've got your cardstock, you've got your adhesives, you have a little bit of everything. But look how different the cards can look. Just by using, you know, like I made the rocker card, you could make an easel card with every single one of the designs that's in this kit as well. But with the colorways, changing up the artwork, you can see how different this looks. Now, Just as a tip, if you find your cards are rolling about like that one was, on the back, if you just cut the back short, and you'll be like, that won't stand up, it's not going to work. It does, because when the card is open, it falls back. So if I stand it like that, can you see? It stands better. Just as a little trick, like I say, just cut a small amount off there, and then that will help your card to make sure it stands up each and every time. If you're wanting more of the rectangles, we have got the rectangles. It can be used landscape or portrait. It doesn't matter, but these could be tags. We were saying earlier as well, you could actually use one of the little calendars, you know, like the little tiny ones that you can get from, like, yeah, I don't know, supermarkets and things like that. I've seen them more in, you know, little stationery stores. Kids, we used to have them, you know, when we made calendars at school, and you do a massive picture and then it would add those on. You can add those in. But again, it could be a top opening card. It could be a side opening card. But look how individual and beautiful these all are. And this is down to the quality of the die cutting, and it is down to the quality of the artwork. If you had lines that weren't aligned, straight away your eye would go to it, because these are beautiful skinny layers. This is going to give you that beautiful accurate, I can't say it. It's going to look magic. That's all you need to worry about, and the thinking has been done for you, and that will give you that beautiful, beautiful look. And making and selling, it's going to make it quicker, it's going to make it faster to be able to do that. But if you're looking at this thinking, well, I just want to make the notelets, we do have the envelopes on the show. You're going to get 25 of those for $9.99, 250618. Again, available on the website if you want to have a look at those, and that will just make your job easier, especially when I show you this. If you want to make little notelets, you could make yourself a little box like this out of the cardstock, because it's, you know, strong enough. This has got an acetate lid, but you might just want to do a, you know, flat box with a flat lid. But make and sell, put 5 or 6 in there with the envelopes. That could be a beautiful gift for somebody for Christmas, as thank you notes after Christmas. But look how gorgeous that is, and like I say, you can make and sell with that. Pop your envelopes in, the kit is ready for you to go. Now let's do this one, demo number 3. Let's bring this in. So now with this one, I am using the green and the gold, so, well, the tan and the gold, shall I say. But it's how quick and how easy you want to make your cards, because you've got that look to these. It really doesn't matter. You can see with this, again, I've kind of gone for a 3-colour combo, so that's with the colours that are in there. But this is how easy they are to layer. Now with these as well, because I also thought it looked like a little bit like a keyhole. So you could have like key of the door, do you know what I mean? It could be a door, but use them in different ways. You can twist and turn this, so it could go at the bottom, it could go to the left, it could be to the right, it doesn't matter. And if you've got photographs of special people, or it could be a baby's first Christmas, put the photograph behind there as well. But if you've got any little lanterns or things like that, hang those in there, because on your Christmas cards it's going to look magic. Best bit with this as well would be to use your foam on a roll, because if you have that little bit of height and dimension, you will find then this will just elevate it a little bit more. Whereas if it's flat, sometimes you will lose that little bit of shape, but by having that, it does give it that elevation. Now just taking this off of here, I'm going to pop this onto the front of my card, and you can see there with that green and that tan, it looks fabulous. Lovely colourway, beautiful palette, and I like that it's traditional, not like, you know, a certain, you know, Coca-Cola lorry kind of red. I'm glad it's such a classy, beautiful tone, because like I say, with these, you know, you could hand paint those in a little bit. Looking at that, unless somebody knows it's a Christmas rose, it could be any type of flower. You could actually, you know, recolour that. So I do think it's a useful piece of artwork. And don't forget, it's free. You don't have to be a colourist. You don't have to colour in if you don't want to. This will make your job so much easier. Now I've just cut a little square card blank, because my thought process with this one was, if I put this right down in this corner and then punched a hole in it, ribbon through it, I've got a tag. But if you just want to make, you know, if you've got like the 5x5 envelopes and things like that, then you could actually make, I put that on a bit wonky, haven't I? You could actually then make your own size cards to go with the envelopes that you've got as well. But if you want the special size, we have got those on the show. Now, taking these bits and just twisting this in, but you might just want to add your glitters to it before you actually glue it and things like that. I like to sometimes tuck it in a little bit more and then just having the top growing out, because I think it just gives it a different feel to the design as well. But you make it however you want to. There's so much luxury with this one. And also with this die, let me just show you with mine so you can see. You know, like normally sometimes I flip the dies and show you. Let me get the right one first. Done, that would help. So with the die, you can see I've popped that on and I've die cut it to get that shape. But if I wanted to, I could take the cardstock out, leave that, you know, bit there, put this piece back in, and if you wiggle it back in, you'll feel it slot into the die. When it does, then you can cut that there and you can have a double aperture. So you could have a double aperture just with a little sentiment across it there. So there's different ways and means of doing this. And then obviously you've got your other dies which are still going to fit. So you are still bringing in the same ones. If you want to change up, like with this one, you might not want to use this artwork. You might want to use the floral one. You can add that in as well. So please, I can't wait to see what everybody does with this collection, I'll be honest, because I do feel, you know, we're going to see this through summer. I'm going to see autumn time with your little mice characters and things like that. There is so many different looks for you to use. Now I'm just using the little decoupage layers, adding these on and just adding this to the design. You do get all the pieces, so you can work those in. I've also got one of the sentiments here, and I've actually stamped onto the tan, sorry, because I wanted you to see it stamps really well as well. I used a Stays On ink pad. So if you've got the Stays On VersaFine, I would definitely say use something like that, because it will dry very quickly before you die cut it, because if you don't and you die cut it as soon as you've stamped it, it can smudge. So that's why if you get a Stays On the VersaFine ones, they will dry instantly, so then you can get die cut in straight away. Next up for you then, I'm just going to add this to the front of my card. Oh, my glue's gone, really. Bear with. So let's just pop that on to there. I'm going to lower that down a little bit, and then I have got one of the little, I would say lolly leaves. It's a holly leaf. So I've got that there, and then all I'm going to do is pinch those up, because you've got all those detailed cut lines, and we're just going to sit that and dress that around there as well. So again, it gives it a different look on there too. So just taking this in and slotting it underneath a little bit, and that's going to sit on there. But again, quick, simple, and at the end of the day, you're only using your cardstocks. You're not using fancy papers and things like that. So it's an affordable way to make cards. Plus the size that you're using, you are using an easy size to be able to post out. So it's not going to be really expensive for you to post out too. Or if you are batch making, I would have all these cut out the night before and then just have a day where you make them and put them together. You really can make great affordable cards and that precious look, that boutique style, by having this collection. This is your Christmas Notelet card making collection 250617. Now, I do have to tell you, and I'm like I say, I'm not trying to frighten anybody, we are now approaching 75% of the stock. And I know a lot of you will be in later from work and you'll go back to YouTube and put this on and on Facebook. But right now, here at 1:34, we are approaching 75% of the stock. And honestly, I don't know about you, but I get quite excited when the Christmas stuff comes out. So this is like the start of Christmas for me. I know it's only June, it's probably one of the hottest days of the year, but you can make the hottest cards on the market. You can then make those beautiful cards ready to make and sell in plenty of time. But if you are wanting the envelopes, we have got those. They have been specially sized. You're getting 25 of those if you are just wanting to make them as notelets as they come. But obviously if you're making it and adding it onto extra cardstock, then use your other size envelopes that you've got as well. Let's go back and just show you out of the box, shall we? This is my favourite bit, because like I say, I get one of these sent through the post to me and it's like I can't wait to look at it. First I looked at it and I thought, oh, three different designs. Does that mean I get 3 different artworks? I didn't realise till I opened it up and looked inside, you have got 3 different die sets. So you've got your rectangle, you've got your circle, and then you've got your squares as well. You'll notice you've got that beautiful embossed detail on every one of the top layers, so you've got that extra bit. Use a bit of gilding wax, use your inks if you want to. And how this has been positioned and done, you could actually put pearls in the center or like your little dewdrops on there as well. You have got these fancy swags in here as well. You've got 2 different swags. You've got your mats and layers to put your sentiments on, or you can put them at the side like I was doing. So just to show you, you could have your sentiment like this, you could have your sentiments like that. You've got this style as well, so you can add those in, but you may just be somebody who wants to use one of the larger shapes like that and just stamp it onto there. It is so easy and adaptable for everyone to be able to use. You will get the extra layer bits in there to be able to decoupage it up and give it height and dimension. You've also got your bow, so don't miss out on that one. Don't lose these. If I was you, I would honestly pop over to the website, get yourself some magnetic sheets. And what I tend to do is either then slot it into the front pocket, or my magnetic sheet I will slide into the back, because obviously keep taking them on and off. If you're like me, I end up losing bits. Don't lose any of the bits, they're there. Now the flower ones, the decoupage layers, you will also notice this, instead of 3 separate pieces, it's 1 piece, so it's easy to cut. The artwork, if you are wondering where the artwork is, please go to the download section on Carnation Crafts. You can download it for free. I would highly recommend that you print it out on your Pro Print paper to get that best effect, and you'll get the same colours, because using it on a lesser quality paper, you might print it out and think, well, mine doesn't look green like that. It could be just down to the paper you are printing it on. With your kit as well, when you get the kits in the packs, you do get your cardstock, and again we put in top quality cardstock. I say we, I mean the team, not me, but you know. 10 sheets of your beautiful blush natural cardstock in there. You've then got your sangria, which is a beautiful, like a Bordeaux kind of colour. You've then got 2 sheets of the tan and 2 sheets of the beautiful royal green in there too. Again, colour palette that you can use all year round, but also for all of your Christmas card needs. You get in your stamp set in here. There is 20 in total, but you get like 10 of the same sentiment, just in 2 different sizes, because we know as card makers, sometimes you need a small one, sometimes you need a longer one. This is how it works, and obviously that has all been done for you as well. So just popping that back in there, you can see it's a bit snugly in there. Then you've got 5 meters of your foam on a roll, your 5mm one. You've got your 5mm and your 10mm foam pads. These are easy peel as well, so do not worry, these are going to be simple for you to use. Tuck them in there, keep them in there, but if not, sometimes I take them out, and when I've been using my stamps and, like I say, my magnetic sheets, I slot everything into there. You can slot in the back as well. If you're doing your downloads of your vignettes, slot those in there, keep it with the kit, and then you know they will beautifully be in there. But if you're thinking, I love it, I want it, but I'm going to need more cardstock because you're going to make lots of beautiful things, I would honestly say to you, get the cardstocks. Let me show you. So these all come in packets of 20. We've got the golden tan, we have got the sangria, and we've also got that royal green. Details are on the side of the screen. They're $4.99 for each packet. That's why $14.99 for each packet. But with this, do remember it is 1 per item code as well. So pick your item, your colour, pick your item code, pop it in your basket, and then with this and your kit, this will take you over that £50 mark, and then obviously on spend, and then you'll get free postage. And like I say, I know that post person is winging their way right now here to Carnation Crafts, because normally when I leave about 2 o'clock-ish, They're here with the van and they're loading it. So you may get this tomorrow. I know what some of you are like, and if you're like me, you want it as soon as you can. Do not worry, the team will get this out to you as soon as they can. And I know we have a lot of people who email in and tell us, oh, I've got mine, or, you know, I ordered it this morning, it's been dispatched and things like that. So you have got it all. Now, this card was another one of those where I'd got bits left over of this cardstock from the kit, and I didn't want to waste it. Do you know what I mean? I thought, yes, I can stamp on those bits, but I wanted to use it. So this time I thought, I'm going to use that as my card base. We're going to mat and layer this, and then I'm going to use that as a ribbon on there. A little bit like the one we did earlier with the ribbon stash. Can you see? So I used it that way. So that, again, like I say, that was scraps. But when you're getting cardstocks in your kit, don't waste any of it. Use as much as you can when you can, because you don't want to waste it. And if you're like me, I have a little plastic wallet that I keep all the bits in for the kits. So just in case, I can always make extra ones up. And you'll be surprised how you can set yourself the task of making even more different cards. Now, my glue, is that gluey? It's stuck to my things. Now, always cut from the reverse. This will make it easier for your guideline when you're cutting bits off. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on the back of this cream. Again, keeping it simple but beautiful. And you know, once the cards are in the shops, I'll be honest, I reckon end July your cards will be in all your supermarkets. They'll be starting to get them out, you know they will. When you start looking at them in certain supermarkets, they have their little bougie range of cards, and they will be out. And if you notice, the cards will be very classic, and it's the same with this collection too. Now I'm going to add the circle there. Can you see how it's I've got the grounding of my matting and layering on there. If it was just plain, yes, it'd look all right, but it just looks plain. Try and add a little bit of like a band or something, just to make sure then it ties it, draws the eye in, like we were saying to you before. So just add a little bit into that. Let's add a little bit of adhesive tape on the back of here. All available on the website. Have a look for your tapes, your glues, your everyday glue and your applicators. Everything is on there as well. So just taking this off. This is then just going to sit on the center of my card like so. Then I've got my layers, and with that green and that cream, I just think it looks so rich as well. But you know, we were saying these could be coasters. You could actually make one of these and it could be just a circle one on its own, and a loop of ribbon. It could be a bauble on the tree, or it could be literally around a bottle or something, around the neck of a bottle, for you to then give it as a gift too. So it's all about embellishing and creating. And with these as well, if you make your little boxes, because you've got, you know, like that, like the little window, if you put acetate underneath, because you've got the larger circle, you can cut a circle of acetate that will fit underneath that. You could then, so you can just see they've got chocolates in it, or bubble bath, or soaps, or candles, whatever you've made or done. You'll have that little window in there. So think about using it that way as well. But so many configurations. And like with this, I don't know if a lot of you have seen them yet. I don't know, you know, but one of my friends brought me a tube of tissues for my car. Okay. And it's, I'd probably say it stands about that high, okay, but it's round and it sits in the bit where you put your cups in your car. But if you got one of those, you could decorate it for Christmas for them, and then they could pull the tissues out the top. So if you've got that one, or the, I would say the rectangle one, you could have and pull them out. But the circle one, that would definitely sit brilliantly on it, and then you could do it. But I don't know if you've seen them, but they all come, because she got me, I went, what are these? She went, tissues. I went, they're for your car. I was like, oh my. So yep, they are out there. Have a little look, but they just sit nice rather than you having them rammed in a door or in a glove box or the bit in between. These sit where your cups are. So you know how sometimes at the moment we're all a bit sneezy. That would make a beautiful gift. So sometimes it's about altering what you've got, not necessarily about recreating something that you have got. Now with this one, you'll see this piece, because of the snippability, I've taken that bit off. Okay, so because what I wanted to do is, and these are obviously reversible because they're your vignettes, I'm going to flip this over so it makes it a little bit longer. Can you see? So that's going to bring there. I don't know what I've done with my sentiment. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know what I've done with that, or where I've wafted it, or it's fell out. I do not know. But do not worry. You know you can add your own little sentiment in there too. So adding a little bit of my glue gel on that bit. And like I say, I flip this over, so this is like the opposite side, but that's the great thing, because I wouldn't be able to do this and stylize it if I didn't have that amazing shape on there with the vignette to be able to do that with, because you wouldn't get the opposite side to be able to fan it round and do that. Now with this bit, I've got this little bit here. I am going to snip into this a little bit because I need it to just shape a little bit more, but you don't have to. The cut lines are there so you can easily follow them. But if you then just run it around your finger, you can curl it and shape it and give it a little bit more. Then just put your glue in one area so it doesn't lose its shape. Then as I pop that onto there, I had got my little sentiment to go across there. I don't know where it's gone. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. But you can see then you can make a different card. But you know that as well, think about it. If you domed the bottom, you could wrap that around a candle. And that could be round a candle or something like that. So you could buy, you know, one of the big round pillar candles. You can get them from B's and M's, M's and B's, places like that. And you could then add this in. Obviously with the artwork, your vignette, that would dress any of your candles. Obviously say to people you have to take it off before obviously you burn it, but it could just be a decorative one for your table for Christmas as well. So let's show you a few more of the design team, and I have to say a massive thank you as always to the design team. They go above and beyond to make these incredible cards. Stamp directly onto there if you want to, or add your sentiment, but look how different it looks with the same shape. You've got the little bow on there as well to dress it. You've got that depth of colour using, because that's the artwork for that one, but look, by using the design, using two of the spray ones that we've got. Let me show you if I can get this to stand up. There you can see we've got the spray, but that spray goes on there, but all they've done is got two and faced them together. So that's how they've made that one. So again, you can make your own garlands, you can stretch this out, you can make it as long as you want, but so different. And that is using like the garland I've just used, but they're using it as a drape the other way. Then you've got your rectangles in there as well. Look at that. They'd be beautiful for tags. These would be beautiful for place settings, Christmas weddings, things like that. But do you know what? All year round, if you used any of the carnation mice and things like that, this is just going to give you a different feel and a different look each time. And look at that, with that pop of colour, you can bring colour in. Let's show you a few of the different designs that we did earlier as well, just to show you these. So look at that. That is using three of the swag ones all the way round. Then I used the holly sprig ones from this one, and I've cut bits out and I've threaded it in, but giving you a full circle on there as well. If you want to go all out and do your concept cards, bringing in different shapes and things like that, you can see you can make things like that as well. But if you really want the grandeur, you want to go all out, just to show you, you can make bigger cards with a separate tag if you wanted to, by using three of the panels on there too. So make your easel cards, make your rocker cards, things like that. Styles that you can now bring in just by using these beautiful styles of cards as well. It's an amazing collection, and like I say, it's the first one of the Clean and Simple of 2025. We are bringing you the Christmas launch with this one. This is your Christmas notelet card making collection. Bear in mind, we are approaching 75% of the stock of this has gone already. We are approaching that now. It is only going to get busier and busier. A lot of you are seeing the potential with this kit, especially because it actually has three of the different sets and styles of this actual dies in there too. Now, think of this like an elaborate catalogue. Okay, when you get this home, you're going to open it up. You've got your inspiration there. Even if you just make those 3 cards to start with, boom, you are up and running. Then you will start to make and create even more. You've got your bows in there, you've got your embossed detail, you've got your tags in there, you have your embellishments, you've got all the essence in there to make some incredible cards. Like I say, the circle will fit inside the square. So if you want to mix the two together, a little bit like that, you see what I mean? You can do that, because the mats and layers have been thought of. You might want to do, let's pretend with the square, but you might want to put the rectangle one down the middle of the square. So it's like that way. So it's facing that way. You can do that with these. It's your scope, your rules to do what you want with it. Just remember, cut them all individually or separately. You can't cut them all as in one because they are the different layers. But then you've got your embellishments. Get yourself a magnetic sheet. That's going to be your best friend then to hold and house all of those. We've then got the cardstock. You get 10 of the natural blush. You've got 2 of the sangria, 2 of the tan and 2 of the royal green in there. So hand picked for you by the design team to coordinate so well with obviously the artwork, as you can see the colours there, and it makes it simple, and that's what gives you that polished look with your cards. You've got 20 stamps in total. You get 2 sets, but they are just different sizes. You've got the same sentiment but in 2 different sizes, because then it works with all of the different frames that you've got to make it easy and give you peace of mind. You've got your adhesives in here. You have then got your 5 meters foam runny roll you've seen me using. You've got your 10mm and your 5mm foam pads. Easy peel. You don't have to struggle with it. Very easy. Shall I show you a close-up of the board just so you can see? This is what you can make with the kit straight out the box, because of you can see the coloured cardstock. We've got that one with the sangria, this one with a tan, and that one with a royal green. That is what you can make. The flowers can all be intermixed as well, so if you want that one on that one or that one on that one, that is doable as well. The fonts for the stamps are very, very beautiful, and as you can see, they are delicate. They're not too bold or too heavy. You've got the different sizes, so they both say Joy Noel, but you've got one more elongated and then more of a smaller one if you are wanting to use one of the smaller ones on those. $49.99 is your show price for you to be able to use with this one. It has been extremely popular, as Clean and Simple always is, but I think a lot of you were ready to treat yourselves to your first bit of Christmas, and what a better way than to start it in June. It's a little bit like, you know, the king, he has 2 birthdays a year. We give you Christmas twice a year. You get it in June and then obviously in December. You now have the chance to start making your cards, because Christmas is one of the busiest times to make your Christmas cards. Why not start now with this fabulous kit for you? 256, is it? Yeah. 250617, all available on the website for you at that special price of $49.99. Can I say a big thank you to the Carnation Crafts team, you at home, for watching and being here, and I can't wait to see what you do with this too. So hopefully I will see you soon. I think I'm at Hobby Maker at the end of the week, so I will catch you all then. But till then, take care and keep making them cards.